Someone asks, "Can you tell me a little about yourself?" You know your own life better than anyone, but suddenly your mind is empty. Should you talk about your job, your personality, your family, or the fact that you make excellent tea? The question sounds simple, yet answering it in English can feel surprisingly difficult.
And if you panic, you may say, "My name is Avery. I am a good person. I like music." All true, perhaps, but it doesn't give the other person much to remember.
Today, we'll help you build a natural answer for different situations. You'll learn how to choose useful details, describe your personality, give examples, and sound confident without pretending to be perfect.
Welcome to Beyond English class, where we learn practical English through clear, everyday conversations. I'm Avery.
And I'm Aaliyah. Let's begin with an important idea. Describing yourself is like opening a small window into your life. You're not showing the other person the entire house. You are simply choosing one useful view.
That already makes the question feel easier. I don't need to explain everything from childhood until this morning.
Please don't. If someone asks at a neighborhood event, they probably don't need a 40-minute documentary.
There goes my plan. But the situation really matters, doesn't it? At a party, I might mention where I live and what I enjoy. In a job interview, I should focus more on my experience and strengths.
Right. The first teaching point is to ask yourself, why does this person want to know? At a new class, people may want to know your background and interests. At work, they may want to understand your skills. On a first meeting with a friend's family, they may simply want an easy conversation.
So the same person can give several honest answers. That isn't being fake, it's choosing the most relevant view through the window.
Exactly. Imagine I meet someone at a community garden. I could say, "I work in education, and I'm quite a curious person. Recently, I've been learning how to grow herbs, although my basil is not impressed with my skills."
That sounds friendly. It gives me 3 ways to continue. I can ask about education, curiosity, or the unhappy basil.
A good self-description helps the conversation move forward. It offers what I call conversation handles, small details the other person can pick up and ask about.
I learned that lesson the uncomfortable way. A few years ago, I joined a photography group. A man asked me, "What are you like?" I said, "I'm quiet." Then he said, "Oh." We both looked at the wall as if the wall might save us.
What could you have said instead?
I could have said, "I'm usually quiet when I first meet people, but I open up when we start talking about something interesting. I enjoy street photography and finding unusual details in ordinary places." That answer is still honest, but it has movement.
And open up means to become more comfortable and willing to share your thoughts or feelings. You didn't remove the word quiet, you added context.
This brings us to a second idea. Try not to use a label alone. Words like quiet, friendly, hardworking, creative, or shy can help, but one word rarely shows the full person.
Add a short explanation or example. Instead of "I'm hardworking," try "I'm hardworking and I like to finish tasks before the deadline." Instead of "I'm friendly," try "I'm friendly and I usually enjoy helping new people feel included."
Let me challenge that. Do we always need an example? Sometimes a short answer is enough.
I agree partly. If someone casually asks, "Are you outgoing?" you can simply say, "A little, once I feel comfortable." But when the question is broad, one example makes your answer clearer and more believable.
That makes sense. The example is evidence, not a long speech.
Yes, here is a simple pattern. Say the quality, explain what it looks like, and give one small example. "I'm reliable. When I promise to do something, I take it seriously." For example, my friends often ask me to organize our travel plans.
Reliable means people can trust you to do what you said you would do. It's useful in both personal and professional situations.
Think about yourself for a moment. What is one quality you have, and what small action shows that quality? Maybe you're patient because you stay calm when teaching someone. Maybe you're organized because you plan your week every Sunday.
Give yourself a few seconds to find a real example. A true, ordinary detail is often stronger than a big, impressive claim.
I once helped a friend named Lena prepare for an interview. Her first answer was, "I am hardworking, honest, punctual, positive, responsible, and a fast learner.
That's a lot of good qualities in one breath. She sounds wonderful, but also a little like a list on a poster.
That was the problem. The words were positive, but the interviewer couldn't see the person behind them. We chose two qualities and added evidence. Lena said, "I'm dependable and calm under pressure. In my last role, I kept track of urgent customer requests and made sure the team knew which issue needed attention first."
Much stronger. She didn't try to prove every good quality a human can have.
She opened one clear window. After practicing, she said the answer felt more natural because it came from something she had actually done.
Our third point then is select, don't collect. Choose 2 or 3 details that fit the moment instead of collecting 10 adjectives.
Nicely said. A basic answer can have three parts. First, say what you do or what stage of life you're in. Second, mention one or two qualities or interests. Third, add a specific detail that gives the listener something to remember.
For example, I am a university student studying computer science. I'm curious and fairly independent, and I enjoy building small apps that solve everyday problems.
Or, in a social situation, I recently moved to this city. I'm a little reserved at first, but I enjoy meeting thoughtful people. I spend a lot of my free time cooking and exploring local parks.
Reserved means quiet and careful about showing your feelings. It can sound more neutral and mature than saying, "I don't talk."
Notice that neither answer is perfect for every situation. The structure stays useful, but the details change. Before we go deeper, remember this. Your answer is not your whole identity. It is a small, honest view that helps another person understand where to begin with you. Let's look at a question many English learners fear. Tell me about yourself. I used to think the safest answer was one I had memorized word for word.
I'm not fully convinced. A memorized answer can sound stiff, and if you forget one sentence, the whole thing may disappear from your mind.
True, but no practice at all can also lead to panic. I think preparation is useful if you practice ideas, not a perfect performance.
That's a fair distinction. Prepare a flexible map, your present situation, one relevant part of your past, and what interests you now. Then you can choose a shorter or longer path depending on the conversation.
A learner named Matteo discovered this after moving to a new country. At a dinner, someone asked him to tell the group about himself. He thought they wanted official facts, so he gave his age, degree, full work history, and the year he finished school.
Nothing was grammatically wrong, but it sounded like someone was reading his identification documents.
Exactly. Then another guest asked what he enjoyed outside work. Matteo relaxed and started talking about repairing old bicycles. His face changed. He explained that he liked understanding how small parts worked together. Suddenly, everyone had questions.
That interest also showed his personality without directly naming it. We could understand that he was patient, practical, and curious. Later, Matteo created a more natural answer. I work in logistics, and I moved here about 6 months ago. I'm a practical person who enjoys learning how things work. In my free time, I repair old bicycles, although I'm still learning the names of all the parts in English.
That final detail is warm and human. It shows confidence and humility at the same time.
So, you can describe yourself directly with adjectives or indirectly through what you do. Sometimes I spend weekends fixing bicycles tells us more than I'm practical.
Here are three useful answer styles. A simple answer is, I'm a student and I'm a quiet but friendly person. I enjoy reading and playing football. It works well in class or a relaxed introduction.
A more conversational version is, I'm usually reserved at first, but I open up quickly when I feel comfortable. I'm really into books, football, and long conversations over coffee.
And a professional version could be, I'm an electrical engineering graduate with a strong interest in wireless technology. I'd describe myself as careful and persistent, especially when I'm solving technical problems.
The professional answer is focused, but it still sounds like a person. It connects background, interest, and working style.
Now we need to discuss balance. Many learners think they must sound completely positive. They avoid mentioning anything difficult, such as being nervous, quiet, inexperienced, or slow to trust people.
I understand why. If I'm introducing myself, why would I advertise my problems?
You shouldn't turn the answer into a list of weaknesses, but balanced language can sound more honest. You can show a limit and then explain how you handle it.
For example, I tend to be quiet in large groups, but I communicate well in smaller teams.
Yes, tend to means something usually happens, but not always. You could also say, I can be a little nervous when I speak in public, so I prepare carefully and practice in advance.
I still wouldn't use that sentence in every job interview.
Nor would I. The context matters. If public speaking is the main responsibility, choose an example that honestly shows your progress. Balanced does not mean sharing every insecurity.
That's an important counterpoint. Being open is good, but you're allowed to have boundaries. You don't owe a new person your complete personal history.
Absolutely. If a question feels too personal, you can redirect gently. I'm quite a private person, but I'd be happy to tell you about my work. Or, there's not much to say about that, but one thing I'm passionate about is cooking. Passionate about means strongly interested in something and excited to spend time on it. It's useful, but don't use it for everything. I'm interested in clean socks. I'm not passionate about them.
Thank you for protecting the meaning of passion. Another misunderstanding is that you need advanced vocabulary to sound intelligent. You don't. Clear English with a real example usually sounds stronger than a difficult word used incorrectly. Suppose I say I possess a multifaceted and tremendously dynamic personality.
I would wonder what you were hiding.
Fair. I'm easygoing, but I become very focused when I'm working toward a goal is clearer.
Easygoing describes someone relaxed and not easily worried or annoyed. It's common in friendly conversation. Also, notice the contrast with but. Contrast makes a description feel well-rounded, which means it shows more than one side.
I'm sociable, but I also need time alone. I'm ambitious, although I try not to compare myself with other people. I'm careful with decisions, but I can act quickly when necessary.
These sentences avoid the label trap. A person can be quiet and confident, kind and assertive, serious at work, and playful at home.
That reminds me of my cousin. At family gatherings, she tells stories, starts games, and speaks to everyone. At her office, people describe her as calm and serious. When I first heard that, I thought they had the wrong person.
But both descriptions were true.
Yes, she explained that at work, she prefers to listen before she speaks. At home, she already feels safe, so her energetic side comes out immediately. She hadn't changed personalities on the drive home. Different situations brought out different parts of her.
That's why phrases like at first, in large groups, at work, and around close friends are so helpful. They show when a quality appears. Let's give the listener another reflection moment. In which situation do you feel most like yourself? With family? With close friends? At work? In class? Or when you're alone?
Let the answers settle for a moment. The place where you feel comfortable may reveal qualities you forget to mention.
We should also talk about length. How long should a self-description be?
Long enough to answer, short enough to invite another question. In casual conversation, 2 or 3 sentences may be perfect. In an interview, you might speak for about 1 minute and connect your answer to the opportunity.
Watch the other person. If they look interested and ask questions, continue. If their coffee becomes cold while you explain your entire childhood, close the window gently.
You can finish with a bridge such as, "That's me in a nutshell. What about you?" In a nutshell means in a few words, giving only the main points.
We've not used several phrases that can make your answer more natural. Let's slow down, look at them carefully, and help you make them your own. Let's begin our vocabulary and phrase tour with come across. In this episode, we talked about how an answer may come across to another person. Come across as means to seem or appear in a particular way.
For example, he comes across as confident because he speaks clearly. In another situation, you might say, my message came across as unfriendly, but I didn't mean it that way. The common pattern is come across as plus an adjective.
Our second phrase is open up. It means to become more comfortable and begin sharing your thoughts or feelings. You can say, I'm quiet at first, but I open up when I know people better.
Or, after a few meetings, the new student opened up and started asking questions. We often open up to a person or open up about a subject. For example, she opened up to her friend about feeling lonely.
The third word is reliable. A reliable person or thing can be trusted. My colleague is reliable, so I know she will finish her part of the project.
A second example is this old car isn't beautiful, but it's reliable. For people, common combinations include a reliable friend, a reliable employee, and a reliable team member.
Next is reserved. A reserved person is usually quiet and does not quickly show every thought or feeling. He seems reserved when you first meet him, but he has a wonderful sense of humor.
And I was reserved during my first week in class because everything was new. Reserved is not the same as unfriendly. It often describes someone's social style without judging it.
Our fifth phrase is tend to. We use it to describe something that usually happens, while allowing exceptions. I tend to listen more than I speak in large groups.
Another example is we tend to cook at home during the week. The pattern is tend to plus the base form of a verb, such as tend to worry, tend to plan, or tend to arrive early.
Our sixth phrase is passionate about. It means strongly interested in something and excited to give it time and energy. She's passionate about helping children learn.
Or, I became passionate about photography after I borrowed my brother's camera. We use passionate about plus a noun or a verb ending in ing, such as passionate about music or passionate about teaching.
Our seventh word is easygoing. It describes someone relaxed, flexible, and not easily annoyed. My roommate is easygoing, so small changes to our plans don't bother him.
Another example is our manager is easygoing, but she still expects us to meet deadlines. Easygoing doesn't mean careless. A person can be relaxed and responsible.
Our next word is well-rounded. When a description is well-rounded, it shows several useful sides instead of only one. We can also use it for a person with different skills or experiences.
For example, her answer was well-rounded because she mentioned her work, personality, and interests. Or, the program helps students become well-rounded professionals. The word often has a positive meaning.
Our ninth expression is in a nutshell. It means giving the main idea briefly. In a nutshell, I'm a curious person who enjoys learning and solving problems.
And if a friend asks about a long meeting, you could say, in a nutshell, we agreed on the plan, but not the budget. It's useful when you want to summarize, but it's more common in conversation than in very formal writing.
Let's practice a complete self-description now. First, repeat this sentence aloud. I'm usually reserved at first, but I open up when I feel comfortable.
Here is a friendlier variation. I can be a little quiet when I first meet people, but I'm easygoing once the conversation begins.
And here is a professional variation. I tend to listen carefully at first, and then I contribute once I understand the situation.
The first version focuses on personality. The second sounds relaxed and social. The third turns the same quality into a useful working style.
Now personalize the pattern. Say, I'm usually blank at first, but I blank when blank. You might say, I'm usually cautious at first, but I become more confident when I understand the task.
Take a short moment and say your own version out loud. It doesn't need to be perfect. It only needs to be true enough to use.
Here is your listener challenge. Create a 3-sentence introduction today. In the first sentence, say what you do or where you are in life. In the second, describe one quality. In the third, give a small example or interest that supports it.
For instance, I'm an office assistant who recently moved to Chicago. I'm organized and reliable. I use a simple weekly plan to keep track of important tasks.
You can make the challenge easier by writing the 3 sentences first. Then, read them aloud, look away from the page, and say the same ideas again in slightly different words.
That prevents the answer from becoming a script you're afraid to forget. You are practicing a map, not memorizing every step.
Let's make the action steps clear. First, decide where you will use the answer, such as a class, social event, or interview. Second, choose only 2 or 3 relevant details. Third, connect one personality word to a real example.
Fourth, practice a short version and a longer version. Your short answer might be 2 sentences. Your longer answer can add a story or relevant experience.
Fifth, record yourself once. Listen for clarity, not perfection. Ask, does this sound like me? Is there a detail another person could ask about? Then make one small improvement.
I like that last question. A good introduction doesn't need to close the conversation with a final judgment about who you are. It should open a door.
Or open a small window. We began with the fear that one answer must explain your entire life. It doesn't. You choose a view that fits the moment.
We learned to consider the situation, choose rather than collect details, and to support equality with a real example. We also saw that personality changes with context. You may be reserved in one place and lively in another.
Balanced descriptions can be especially natural. I tend to be quiet in large groups, but I open up with people I know. That sentence doesn't apologize. It simply gives a well-rounded picture.
And advanced vocabulary is optional. Clear, specific English is the goal. One true detail about repairing bicycles, organizing trips, or learning a new skill can make your answer memorable.
Most importantly, your self-description is not a test of your value. It is a communication tool. You can adjust it as your English grows and as your life changes.
So, how would you describe yourself in 3 sentences? And which quality would you like other people to notice about you?
Write your answer in the comments if you feel comfortable. You can use today's challenge, your current situation, one quality, and one supporting detail.
If this episode helped you, please like it, share it with another English learner, and subscribe to Beyond English Class.
Then continue with another episode and keep practicing one honest answer at a time. You don't need to show the whole house. Open one clear window and let the conversation begin.